What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Geek Babble, presented by the Boston Movie Geeks. I'm your host, Kevin Duffy, and as you can see, I have a bevy of friends here to dive into some geeky topics. We got Chris Crow on my right, or my left. I don't really know how the camera works when I'm looking right at it. How you doing, Chris?
Doing well. Let's talk geek shit.
That's absolutely. We got Adam Ravani just below him. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, living the dream, man. You know me.
That's right. And then last but not least, although he was last to join the stream, we got Toon Squad himself, Mike Duggan. What's going on, dude?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Excellent. So, guys, I want to thank you for being the first contestants. Just my movie trivia thing. I want you guys being the first panelists on Geek Babble. Hopefully, this is going to be a good show that people are going to want to keep coming back to. It's basically your typical podcast style show with a lot of conversations. We do have topics to drive it, so we're not going to get too far astray. But I want you guys to be able to talk about whatever you want in the show too. So if we go on some tangents, they're absolutely acceptable. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Excellent. All right, our first topic today, guys, and this is breaking news this week. All of it's breaking news this week. The first image of the new Toon Squad jersey from the upcoming Space Jam sequel has been released. Obviously, this is the sequel to the Michael Jordan one from the 90s, but LeBron James is heading it this time, and they got New Jersey. So what do you guys think of it?
Complete and total hot garbage. And I'm not even speaking of nostalgia value. So, like the original one, it was all white, right? And they had like the classic Looney Tunes logo, like right in the middle of it, and like whatever. It was clean, it was sleek, especially like in the 90s too. You expect it to be going overboard, something like this. But I don't know. This one looks like there was an earthquake that's centered on his hip and just irradiated out. But I don't know. I think it's just bad.
All right. There's Adam's take. Duggan, what do you think of it?
The color's okay. It's not really my cup of tea. Like, I agree with Adam. It's the way it was fine. But clearly they had to do something different for the sequel. I just wish it was more dialed back. It's very flamboyant and kind of not really what I think kids would like. I feel like they should have just went either with like a retro or something based off of that white, maybe a red, maybe a blue. I don't know. I don't think he should have went with Miami Knights, Miami Vice colors, personally.
Yeah, it's something to look at. Chris, what do you think about it?
So you guys talk about the jersey. I'm confused about Space Jam itself.
Too.
Like, do kids even know who? Like, I'm assuming they're gonna stick with the same characters, like Bugs Bunny and all that stuff.
Right.
Do kids now even know who Bugs Bunny is?
Well, so they try and revive the series with a live action-ish movie every 5 years just to keep the money coming in. Keep it. There was one with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, right. It was like Looney Tunes back in action. I think that was the name of the movie.
Was that the sequel to Space Jam, or was there one between those two?
No, I think there's two with Brendan Fraser, actually, to be honest.
Really?
I think that was the last thing that he did.
That's what happened to Brendan Fraser. He fucking did.
Yeah.
He went from the Mummy to Looney Tunes, and it screwed his career.
Yep. Should have just stuck with things like Encino Man, and he would have been okay.
Yeah, but it's like everyone loves nostalgia, but I mean, we gotta get off this train of making a sequel to a movie that's over 20 years old. Like, nobody wants it, and I mean, unless they're gonna make a Space Jam with totally different kind of characters.
Well, and I feel like LeBron, obviously he's famous and whatever, and he's really great basketball player and whatever, but he's not where Michael Jordan was as far as relevance now. Of course he's playing basketball or whatever, but Michael Jordan's fucking Michael Jordan, man.
Yeah. No, it's so for me, guys, my opinion on the jersey is I'm actually shocked that I'm the only one. I actually kind of like it. I don't know why, because
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. I agree that the Looney Tunes fucking like Porky Pig whole thing is a little weird when it's off center, but I think the colors are actually really cool. And it brings me to a question about this movie. And I really don't give a shit if this movie gets made or if I ever see it. But in the original movie, they're wearing white jerseys and they're the home team, right? If they going with colored jerseys because they are going to be an away team and they're invading a planet to take out other toons or something, because that could be something. Imagine if it's like a totally like warped story,
or like
where, like the Looney Tunes are trying to take out a race of other toons,
or like a Crisis on Two Earths type thing, with like it's like an alternate timeline.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
what if it's like a Mortal Kombat setup where LeBron James is the only one that has to go to space, and then he has to take out other intergalactic all-stars in an all-star battle?
And he takes the Looney Tunes with him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got experience. They're the only ones experienced in intergalactic basketball that are on Earth that we know of.
Ooh, what if the plot is Michael Jordan has been kidnapped by aliens and LeBron has to go and get him back?
That would be pretty.
Yeah.
But then again,
don't
if this movie's geared towards children, kids are gonna be like, "Who the fuck's Michael Jordan?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, why do I care?
The only other thing I could think of too is that if the guy who was like the boss of the Monstars, if he's coming back a second time to get revenge from that first loss,
Clearly
Michael Jordan can't play because he's too old. So now LeBron has to step in.
Yeah. If
I wonder if
you know what though,
basketball game.
you're a big sports guy, Doug. Does Jordan hate LeBron in real life? Do they not like each other?
It's not really a hate thing. It's more Jordan is his own entity. Jordan doesn't really see anybody on his pedestal or level. It's more about the viewer that tries to compare LeBron to Jordan. They're two separate players who had separate agendas, who had separate things to deal with.
Well, and they're dealing with a very different game in the time.
It's completely
different. The game was entirely different back then when Jordan played it as it is now.
Right.
I mean, there were so many better players. Everybody had a Hall of Famer on the team back in the 90s. It was crazy.
Right. Yeah, I don't know then. That's so I don't know if you could get the two of them in the same movie, but maybe it's money. So fucking I don't see why Jordan would be like,
no, and stuff like that happens all the time. Like Lena Henley, Cersei on Game of Thrones, and Bronn, I forget what the actors, Jerome something.
Yeah,
anyways,
they used to date.
They used to date, and like they hate each other now, but like they're like very minimalized in scenes, but they'll still act together because like money talks.
Right. Yeah, again, we have no clue what the plot of this movie is going to be. We have no clue if it's going to be any good. I would assume it's not going to be good, but I assume it'll still make money because I think LeBron has enough appeal to, young athletic kids and, nostalgic people from the first movie, and people who just like the Looney Tunes will probably go and see this movie. So I think it will make money whenever it can drop and whenever we can go back to the movie theaters. But I have very low expectations for this film. So
it has like Redbox rental written
potential
all over it. Yeah. But I mean, you're right though, because people feed off that nostalgia. So people like our age will go see it. I mean, kids may not go see it, but people will go see it because they're curious.
Well,
and
because they're curious. Because they're
Space Jam
curious.
has
And
no, go ahead.
I'm saying they're curious, and also that marijuana is legal in Massachusetts, so it'll make it like just completely more palatable. Just like add some bright colors, some nostalgia, have a good soundtrack, and you're done. Like you'll make a couple of dollars.
Yeah,
they need R. Kelly on the soundtrack, or I'm not going to see it.
I don't know. That would drive people away.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Duggan, did you freeze? Or are you holding your face in the exact same position for like 20 minutes? Oh, there you go.
I was answering a text message. Sorry.
I was like,
that was pretty. Yeah, that was good.
Holy crap! You literally would pause like staring at the screen.
I will say though, going on the sales department side, those Monstars that LeBron put out are excellent. Those will be purchased.
Are those the shoes?
Yes.
And the same color as the jersey, I assume. I haven't seen them.
So it kind of looks like this.
Oh shit!
but it's purple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some fucking Back to the Future looking kicks, Tugs.
Yeah, they sell tie.
All right.
Yeah, nostalgia talks though, because people seem to remember Space Jam being this awesome movie. It's actually really bad. Like,
Man, why did you say that, Chris?
Bad.
Oh,
it's really bad.
I don't
Bill
know.
Murray's like the best character in that whole movie.
Yeah. And,
But that's you know what though, Duggan, that says something though, because he's only in like 4 scenes, and he's in the movie for like
like
2 minutes.
Because it's Bill Murray. It's like it's just small things. All right, so like when they're on the golf course and Michael Jordan gets sucked into the hole, they're standing by the hole, and the dude who plays Norm in like Seinfeld, he's holding the camera. Bill Murray slaps it out of his hand. It's such a small thing, but it's like the most hilarious thing that he does.
He's got the comment about Larry Bird in that one too. He's like, Larry Bird's not white. He's clear.
He's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. Bill Murray does own that movie for sure. But it's just a I don't know. I will see this movie. I don't know if I'd see it in theaters, but it's definitely something that I will check out. But again, like I said, my expectations very low. As where when I was a kid, the original Space Jam, I was like, I can't wait to see it. But
all right, the real question is that going to be better than Lavalantula?
I don't know if anything's better than Lavalantula.
I don't know. I got that movie pretty high ranked.
You know what? One thing that I hope that they do have in Space Jam 2 is a ridiculous amount of product placement for McDonald's, because there's nothing I believe more than billionaire Michael Jordan going to a McDonald's for lunch. Yeah, that's a little out of the top, but all right, guys, I think that's all we can do with this topic. Topic number 2. So, I'm sure most of you, at least, have seen the show The Mandalorian, and The Mandalorian, Star Wars show, obviously, on Disney Plus, spawned another show, one that was a movie potentially in development for a long time, and that was the Obi-Wan series. The Obi-Wan series, which was originally announced to have 6 episodes, has been supposedly cut to 4 episodes. Now, I don't know if 4 episodes is too little or too much, but I want to know around the table here if you guys think that's not enough television for a series like this. So
it depends if they're going like the Sherlock route. I don't know if any of you have ever watched Sherlock.
BBC Sherlock with Cumberbatch,
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
So they had 3 episodes. They had 3 episodes a season, but they were like feature length episode.
Yeah, they're an hour and a half each, just about.
Yeah. If they go that route, or maybe even a little less in 4 episodes, I can dig it. If it's just like 50 minutes to an hour, I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah,
it's 4 episodes is just why bother? Just make like a comic or something, or like an animated short.
I 100% agree. So if you're going to go feature length, you're going to go an hour and a half. Like you can get a story told over 6 hours, something like Obi-Wan. I mean, granted, we don't know what it's going to be. It's obviously going to just be a little blip. It's not going to be an overarching thing because he had so much crap happen to him. But like, it's, in 4 hours, like that's going to be so rushed. Like,
right. Yeah, I agree. Duggan, did you watch The Mandalorian on Disney Plus?
Yeah, I actually love that. I can't wait for the season 2 to come out. That's going to be pretty wild.
Right. So Mandalorian, 8 episodes, 35, 45 minutes an episode it seemed like an appropriate amount of time for that show, given the span. But you hear that this is going to be 4 episodes, maybe an hour long. We don't know yet. What does that make you think about the likelihood that this show will be good?
So any kind of show, whether it's a Western or sci-fi, there's always character development. And yeah, most of us would be familiar with some of the characters, but the point of this is to go on the backstory and kind of connect the dots. 4 episodes, even if they were an hour and a half, that might be a stretch. They would at least need to get into the 6, 7, 8 range to really complete the whole circle of what they were trying to establish.
Yeah.
The problem too is Obi-Wan is a legendary character, and people. I'm assuming it's McGregor coming back for it.
It is. He's signed on.
People are gonna want to see a lot, and maybe not a lot. I mean, not a lot, but like he deserves more than 4 episodes.
Right, and I don't know. We have no clue if this is a one-off series or not yet. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure it's just like all you know is we're getting these 4 episodes. So for all we know, because he was on Tatooine with Luke, watching Luke, raised, protecting him for 20 years.
Well, that's what I mean.
However old Luke is, like 25 years, whatever. So I mean, there's a lot of story to flesh out there. I'm sure.
That's what I mean. I know we don't know what it's going to be, but with the amount of story that Obi-Wan has. Like that, they could go and develop that. 4 episodes is not going to be enough for anything.
And you got to take into effect 4 episodes would be enough for maybe Tatooine, but realistically, okay. So he has all the Clone Wars. He has How did he become a Jedi? We just see him for the first time in Phantom Menace, and he's like 20 years old, probably even more than that.
That is a very good point, because we do have rumors, not confirmation, but pretty substantial rumors that Hayden Christensen has signed on to play to be a character in this too. So I mean, you got to assume that he's obviously either going to be Anakin for some time between Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, or he could even be playing Vader. So I mean, that would be fun. I don't know. I mean, I don't love Hayden Christensen, but I'll give anybody a second chance. So, but yeah, you're right. There could be flashbacks. There could be a ton of stuff that we don't know about for this series. So,
because we don't know at what point in the timeline that this is going to take place, right?
Well, for sure, the bulk of the story takes place after Revenge of the Sith. So it's going to be Yeah, it's gonna be in those 20, 25 years, whatever, where he was on Tatooine protecting Luke from the Empire, keeping him off the radar of the Empire. So it's gonna be in that time frame for the bulk of the story. But again, it could jump around. We have no clue. No details are out there other than Ewan McGregor's signed on and Hayden Christensen maybe has. So
an actor like McGregor and a character like Obi-Wan deserves at least 10 episodes for any kind of satisfying story to take place. Like you said, jumping around, you can't jump around because you're gonna be like, okay, so what is each episode gonna be like a capture of some part of his life from that point on?
Yeah, it's if it's 20 years, every episode is a 5-year span.
Because think about it, you have to set up where he's at, where his head's at, what the story for these episodes is going to be, and that's your first episode. Now you only got 3 left.
Right. That's true. But you do.
It's just going to be.
Go ahead, Adam.
It's just going to be like Castaway, spread out over those 4 episodes. Just him talking to like a giant fossilized bantha turd.
One thing that you do get with the show that you're able to get some leeway with, in my opinion, is that Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. You know his backstory, so you don't have to get to know his character so much, but you do have to get to know the situations he's in now, right? So you have more time to flesh out those things, and hopefully they do that, because you don't need to flesh out Obi-Wan as a character. You know him. Anybody who's seen the prequels knows that Obi-Wan, Anybody who's seen Alec Guinness in the original trilogy knows that Obi-Wan. So basically you just need to find some middle ground between those two, and you'll be all set. So, but I mean, I have faith. Mandalorian gives me nothing but faith that these projects under, Favreau's supervision are going to be fucking phenomenal. So, clearly it's better than what they give us in the movies now. So
I'm never going to see another Star Wars movie.
Oh, you are full of shit. Who are you kidding?
Not in theaters anyway.
Oh, yes, you're so full of it. They're gonna announce some movie, and you're gonna be like, "Well, I agreed, but I mean, it's a Yoda prequel, so I'm gonna go and see it in theaters."
Shadows of the Empire. That's what I want to say. That
they could make that one.
Game. Yeah,
they could make that because it's adjacent to an already existing story. So,
yeah,
but yeah. So that's.
I want at least a Qui-Gon Jinn cameo
as a Force Ghost.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think of that.
There wasn't any of that really in the prequels after Phantom Menace. Like he just kind of I don't know if there was any. I think there was just that one shot at the end of Revenge of the Sith where he's standing there or whatever. But there was never any Qui-Gon Jinn. Was he standing? Yeah, was he standing there?
No, you never see him. No,
that was
all
Abraham
you get
Lincoln
it was
and an alligator and Chubbs.
Chubbs Peterson. Wave goodbye.
Yeah.
While they played Leonard Skinner over
Tuesday's
gone.
So they definitely need like a Qui-Gon Force Ghost.
Well, they probably
as
will.
As long as it's Liam Neeson's.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They established that already because that's what the last line Yoda has is training I have for you in your isolation. And then he tells them all about how to communicate with the Force ghosts. So that's how Obi-Wan, there's no way Qui-Gon won't be there. In fact, I never even thought of that. And I'm so interested in that now that this season, this show is even higher on my list of must-sees because that's fucking awesome.
If they don't do it, it's a huge missed opportunity.
Absolutely. I agree.
You know,
what do you think about villains, though? I mean, I know we kind of touched on Vader a little bit. We assume he'll be looming in the background somewhere. Do you think any of you who have seen the animated series that they have, you know, the Clone Wars or Rebels, do you think they'll have like Inquisitors or whatever, those the Sith fucking henchmen that go out to do stuff like that coming after Obi-Wan? Or
working off the Mandalorian, it'll probably be like bounty hunters coming to
I
try and track him down.
I kind of want him to fight Darth Maul again.
Robot legs, Darth Maul?
Yeah, robot legs, Darth Maul.
Well, that's what they're setting up for with Solo, too.
Yeah.
He was in Solo. I forgot.
Yeah.
They did establish that. But I don't know, because he isn't the whole arc of him in Rebels that he never found Obi-Wan again until their final meeting and Obi-Wan fucking cuts him down. or am I misinterpreting?
I haven't seen all of Rebels, so I don't know.
Oh, so I just spoiled that for you.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
Absolutely fine. I've got a big ass thing of beer. We're good.
I'll forget all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the final thing on this is, do you think this story will take place entirely on Tatooine the whole time?
No, absolutely not.
Not including flashbacks.
Oh, then yes. Okay.
Okay. So
we'll have flashbacks. He'll be him like just sitting in a cave, listening to like dust in the wind in his head and thinking about Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon Jinn.
It's just gonna be bad. What were those? What was that alien race called? The Sand People. The Sand People. It's probably just gonna be him versus
Tusken Raiders.
Yeah. It's probably just gonna be him versus them.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Just see how many he can beat because they always come back in greater numbers.
Yeah, great.
But it works because now they can pick a time, like right in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, because he's old enough now that he's halfway there to Alec Guinness in terms of his age. So they can like do it right in the middle and give him like a little tiny adventure that breaks up the.
I don't know. I feel like a 20-year jump between where he was in Revenge of the Sith to Alec Guinness. That's more like a 50-year jump because Alec Guinness was so old. So
yeah, but they've got digital change and everything like that. And he's like, you got to take it into effect. So
they're just gonna give him gray hair. He's just gonna.
Well, he's living on a desert for 25 years. That's gonna age you, bro.
That's true.
Like, I think it would be cool if, like, yes, they had flashbacks, but then it also shows him like kind of getting acclimated to living on Tatooine, like trial and error type situations.
He's like, I fucking hate this planet.
Yeah.
Could you just imagine if it was it wasn't McGregor at all and it was just a
rando?
They just CGI'd fucking Alec Guinness's face like they did at Tarkin and
right. Actually,
you gotta stop CGIing dead people.
Yeah, but that Tarkin was really good.
It was really good. You know what's funny? Not to get off topic, but it made me. I didn't realize at the time that he was dead.
Yeah, me either.
So I was like, wait a minute, how is this possible? And then when I looked closer at it, like at a close up, I'm like, oh, it's CGI. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
What's his name?
But it made me think
Peter
for a
Sellers-
minute
Peter
that it might be
Sellers?
real. When
that
he
Peter
wasn't
Sellers, is that his
talking,
name?
Peter Sellers. Yeah, no, not Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers is the Pink Panther, I think, from those
Yes,
1960s movies.
Oh, why the hell
Whatever.
can't I think of his
Doesn't matter.
name?
Doesn't matter. You're off.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, when he didn't speak, it looked amazing.
yeah.
But
Yep.
he had that uncanny valley effect.
Yeah, but
it
you
would
know
be
what?
funny
Then
to
it
do
gets to and this has nothing to do with Star Wars, but then you get to the point where now we're in a world where they're casting James Dean, who's been dead for fucking 45 years, in a movie because they said, James Dean was really the only actor we could see playing this character. I'm like, he's fucking dead. So you're gonna bring.
I want to touch upon that. They actually, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was a few years ago now, but they made like a Lindt chocolate commercial with Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like a completely digital Audrey Hepburn. It was fucking badass. Like
I'm not arguing the technology not looking good. I'm arguing the deciding to resurrect dead actors for new movie roles when you have other actors out there you can pull into this.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's gonna do it for this topic, though. Let's go to we'll go to our third topic today, and the third topic is this. So they are doing a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the classic John Candy, Steve Martin comedy, directed by John Hughes, obviously, and they're putting Will Smith and Kevin Hart in there as the two leads. Now, Will Smith and Kevin Hart are definitely actors that I could see doing a remake or a comedy together, but I don't know. Doesn't this seem a little strange to be that this wasn't like The Rock and Kevin Hart or something, or Kevin James and Will Smith or something?
So I feel like The Rock and Kevin Hart have had their moment. I think that's kind of lost its flavor appeal. They did a lot together, and like it is what it is. I also can't tell you the last good movie that Will Smith put out, or realistically, the last good movie that Kevin Hart put out. I think Kevin Hart was great. I don't know, 8 years ago, but I don't think he's. I don't know. I think he's kind of lost his flavor of the week. He was funny and he had some stuff, but now he's just like he's got his shtick. He's going to be like a little loud and like whatever, and like that's his thing. I like Will Smith as an actor in all of his older movies, but anything recent, I don't know. I feel like he's just he's the 90s, man.
I don't know. So I thought Bad Boys 3 was really good with Will Smith. Very much like it was like he never even missed a beat and he stepped back into 90s Will Smith pretty easily for that movie. His action movies lately I don't like. His dramas are good. Concussion.
Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. That's a great movie. But like,
but to your point, Kevin Hart he pretty much plays the same character in every movie. But in the context of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which character do you think he's going to play? Because John Candy's character is like a bumbling, kind of like a buffoon, but he's also like got the super emotional angle in the movie too, which I don't know Kevin can hit necessarily. So it almost seems to me like Will Smith would be playing that character, and Kevin Smith would be playing the Steve Martin straight man character, which Kevin Hart's never played the straight man, and and Will Smith really hasn't played like an idiot in a movie either. So
it depends on how faithful they're going to be to the original movie,
right?
Because they could just write new characters based on the shtick that the actors
want to do. Right.
So let's be real. I agree with Adam. Kevin Hart's going to be Kevin Hart. That's just what it's going to be. It's not going to be anything else. And yeah, for me, the last great Will Smith movie was I Am Legend.
See, I actually don't even like that movie.
I don't either. I don't either. But Duggan,
I like the part where he's quoting Shrek because I also quote Shrek. But like, they kill. Honestly, man, they kill a dog in that movie, and I was like, nope. Like,
Yeah, but he didn't like it. He didn't like it.
I know. I didn't either.
Duggan, what do you think about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in this new cast?
So going with the movies recently with both of these actors, I really like the movie Gemini Man with Will Smith. I thought that was pretty cool.
I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to though.
Gemini Man's
good.
pretty good. It's a good action movie. But again, to me, that movie felt like it was out of place with modern action movies in a way. But I liked the performances of Will Smith playing the dual characters.
Right.
So I liked it too.
I liked how it was more mind than it was more of the action, because he was coming to terms with, well, I'm not going to ruin the movie, but he was coming to terms with a lot of shit. But on the other side, the last good movie I saw with Kevin Hart was Night School. I thought that movie was hilarious with Tiffany Haddish. I mean, that's typical Kevin Hart type of business. And as far as both of them being in this movie, I mean, John Candy was the perfect guy aside from Chris Farley, who could have played that role. And then going with Steve Martin as a serious guy trying to get home to Chicago. I mean, Will Smith could play that character, but it would be unlikely to see a reverse, like you were saying, because I couldn't see Will Smith in a situation along the lines of that whole plot. So unless they changed it to where it was more about music or sports, or they were actors and so he was an agent and they were trying to get to an award show, something along those lines, then yeah. But if they were going to stick with the basic concept, then it would have to be Kevin Hart in the Candy role.
Right.
What if they just play it off, because they're both from Philadelphia, right? What if they play it off that they're playing themselves and they're trying to get back to Philly and they have these wild antics?
Oh, wait. Are you saying what if they're
completely change it?
Kevin Hart and Will Smith?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart is playing himself and Will Smith is playing himself.
Well, they bump into each other at the airport because it's delayed, and Kevin Hart gets a car, and then they start doing stupid shit, and he's like, Kevin, are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, Will, are you kidding me? And that's basically what they're going to do. It'll be like Due Date.
Dynamite impersonations of them.
That was good. If I closed my eyes, like, I could tell exactly which was which.
Kevin Hart's best movie role was 40-Year-Old Virgin.
I agree.
When he goes
stereo system.
I don't understand what you're trying to say to me, so I'm going to take it as an insult.
How about the price of On the House?
I liked him in Jumanji. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I did like that. Yeah,
Jumanji's good. I think Kevin. So this is the other thing. So I said that I thought that the role reversal will be that I think Will Smith will be playing the sad John Candy character, and Kevin Hart will be the straight man. I think they can get away with that pretty good because Kevin Hart's he did a movie with Bryan Cranston recently where Bryan Cranston was a paraplegic.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but I watched it with Sarah over the winter, and I fucking loved it. I thought it was a really good movie. It was emotional, and Kevin Hart he wasn't as Kevin Hart as he is in other movies, but the comedy in the movie lends itself to the scenario of him like taking care of a paraplegic character. So I think he can play a straight man, and if he's playing opposite Will Smith, they could still have that goofy ass banter. But the real question is, is it worth it to remake this movie where it's already so good? You know,
no.
That's the thing with
they
remakes.
Would have
they're always
to stay away from the actual remake itself. Like I said, it would be almost an insult for these two great comedians, Candy and Martin, who 20 years later now have to. This sounds horrible. You have to deal with the fucking bullshit comedians of Kevin Hart, who is an actor that has a stick, like Adam said. It's and he just does that forever.
Hold on. Like shit like that. You know, like.
Oh, and I'm short. I'm short. I'm tiny. Yeah, that's.
He's good at what he does, but I don't think it would be right for this movie.
I think.
What happened here? Did Duggan just back out?
No,
he's still there.
He's good.
I think we lost Kevin.
Oh no!
We lost the main guy. Bye.
Hey!
I have no idea what just happened. It looks like we're still recording, but
we lost Duggan completely.
Yeah.
We'll see if he bounces back in. Give him a second. But yeah, that sucks. We were on a good rant there, and I wanted to hear where Duggan was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to me, it's one of my favorite comedies of all time. So I honestly don't want this movie to get made, but at the same time, I love Will Smith and I do like Kevin Hart, so I would watch this movie if it was.
The fact that
made.
it's a classic. It's like remaking Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's just like remaking The Jerk. Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand what.
Like, I'm down for people being like, this is inspired by Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Just make it its own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think they might do. It might just be in name only. With certain
a general overarching premise, but an entirely different movie overall.
Right.
I'd have been interested. Now that we're talking about casting, I'd like the Steve Martin role would be good for like somebody like Jason Bateman or something.
Yeah.
Like he plays pretty solid in that role. Honestly.
Yeah, he plays a straight man pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, I hope that they don't try to like recreate the same jokes. Obviously, like
they won't go that. They won't go that like scene by scene with it.
My favorite scene in the original movie is they're driving down the highway and he gets on John Candy's driving. Steve Martin falls asleep in the front seat and he's on the wrong side of the highway, like going northbound on the southbound. And like he's driving and this fucking guy who's in the northbound lane on the other side of the median is like, roll down your window. And he's like, what? And Steve Martin's like, this guy wants you to roll down your window. He like just woke up. He goes, you're going the wrong way. And then John Candy's like, just roll the window back up. He's crazy. How the hell does he know where we're going? And Steve Martin's like, yeah, how does he know where we're going? He's like, he just waves to him and rolls the window up. And then all of a sudden they realize they see the cars coming at him and they just like freak the fuck out. And it's great. He's crazy. How the hell does he know where we're going?
That's like a Peter Griffin moment right there.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Griffin.
It reminds me of European Vacation when they're driving on the wrong side of the street.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't realize it. That's a funny one. Oh, Peter Cushing.
Peter Cushing.
I just remembered his name.
Not Peter.
Wow. So have we officially lost Duggan?
I don't know.
I will hold out hope for him to come back, but the show must go on. We are live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'm not mad that it's getting made because
I'm sick of remakes. I'm sick of the remakes. Just make your own thing or don't bother.
Right. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I love Will Smith. I usually see almost all of his movies. So and Kevin Hart is funny enough that it will bring me to want to see it. But like I said, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I don't necessarily have to see it or care that it's being made.
Right.
All right.
I would be more in favor of than all these remakes. Just digitally remaster some old stuff and release it in the theaters for me. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Like, as long as they're not making, crazy edits, Star Wars, then it's fine.
I have not to go off on a tangent. I have the original theatrical cuts.
Who shoots first?
Of Star Wars. Yep, Han. Fucking awesome scene.
Does Han shoot first in the original cut? I don't know if I've ever really.
Yes, he does.
He does.
Yep.
Well, everybody knows that the added McClunky line was totally worth all the shit that you got for changing that scene over time.
Oh yeah. But this guy, fucking genius guru or whatever, took all the footage from different sources, remastered it in HD, and carefully, painstakingly edited it back into its rightful position in the movie. So there's no extra added effects. It's got all the original effects, everything. No 90s special edition, anything. He took everything out, and it's fucking badass. And I have all 3 movies on Blu-ray.
That's beautiful.
It's just sad and to finish it up, it's just sad that we can't get the actual original releases of those movies.
Or the Christmas special.
But we are getting a Christmas special. They're doing Lego is releasing a Star Wars Christmas special this year. It's gonna be like Lego. Obviously, you've seen the Lego
yeah
Batman Lego movie, all that shit. Same creators are doing Star Wars Christmas special.
I hope it's a direct remake of the terribleness that was or is the original Star Wars Christmas special.
It's supposed to be its own thing, but I imagine that they're absolutely going to be
There'll be some nods to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, I hope that they make fun of a lot of things in Star Wars, and because those don't take themselves too seriously, the Lego movies. So
yeah, I know.
It's right up my alley. I would definitely watch the Lego Star Wars Christmas special.
I love the Lego movies. I think those movies are awesome.
Yeah.
Will Arnett as Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, he's great. The Lego Batman movie was one of the best movies I ever saw. I loved it. All the nods to all the classic Batman stuff.
Yeah.
But, speaking of Batman and DC, that takes us to topic number 4. Topic number 4, DC Fandome, an event that's happening this Saturday. There's basically a live Comic-Con for all DC projects coming forward. They have on their docket, they released a schedule of the different panels that they're doing, and one of them is a to-be-announced secret panel. Now, we don't know what that really is, but all of the rumors and all the things that have happened over the last couple months lead me to believe that it is going to be the announcement of Henry Cavill getting his own solo Superman sequel. What do you guys think about that story?
I agree, because I've heard rumblings all over the internet that Henry Cavill's not done as Superman, and I think even he's dropped a few hints. So I would be not surprised whatsoever if it's a Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
Well, you know what also leads me to believe that too is that, like, all right, so he did The Witcher, right? But the next Witcher thing that's coming out isn't another season of The Witcher. It's something completely different. Well, it's like a prequel type thing about the first Witcher that's coming out. He's not in it at all. And it did get picked up for a second season, and it did well, but you'd assume they'd go right into the second, or starting the second season. But I don't even think they even started filming it yet. So It makes sense that the reason why we're getting the prequel thing is because he was busy doing Superman stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of things that have led up to me thinking this is the Superman thing, and anyone can find this on the internet. But so Zack Snyder obviously did the watch along during the first couple of weeks of COVID, where he did the watch along for Man of Steel. Who's fucking there with him doing the watch along? But Henry Cavill. Why is Henry Cavill at Zack Snyder's house when they're doing the announcement? And that's where they announced that they were doing the remake of the Snyder cut of Justice League, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that could just be a coincidence that he was there for that. Sure. Then you have the J.J. Abrams stuff. So Bad Robot obviously got a big contract from Warner Brothers, specifically to come over and do DC movie work. We know that J.J. Abrams has in the past written a draft for a Superman movie that did not get made. Before he did like an initial draft for Superman Returns or something like that, and they kind of went a different way with it. So he's always wanted to do a Superman movie. His company's now in DC. It makes sense that Henry Cavill, who all the fans love, right? So if you want to kind of bring J.J. Abrams in and kind of get off on the right foot, you don't recast Superman when you have a guy who's ready to play it. His star status has only gone up since he stopped doing since his last performance as Superman. He did Mission Impossible, where he was the best bad guy in any Mission Impossible movie, the best Mission Impossible movie. And then he did The Witcher, hugely successful, massive, like, geekdom. Everybody's fucking on board with him again. And it just makes sense to cash in on him. You know, the guy didn't get a fair shake as Superman, and he fucking wants to come back. How do you not go for him? But that's even beyond that. There's like more, like he released a video like on Twitch or something like a week ago where he was building a gaming computer, right? It was just Henry Cavill, but he's fucking huge.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
bigger than he's ever been. Like he's in this fucking like tight tank top, just fucking building this computer. There's no way he didn't do that as like a stunt to show people how big he was. I'm telling you, all of this is leading up to them announcing this Man of Steel sequel. And they announced a couple weeks back I know, keep rifling things off, that they were in talks with him to come back, and they wouldn't announce whether that was a official movie or if he was going to come back to appear in like Black Adam, Shazam 2, whatever the plan may be. But this secret panel, I can't imagine that you have all these characters, and he's not listed as being at the panel. He's not listed as going to it. So if this panel isn't to announce a Superman movie, I would be shocked. And with DC kind of like getting some footing again and getting back on the right track with their movies, how do you not come out of this panel thing announcing your crown jewel character finally getting the fucking movie that people want? You know?
So
I adore him as Superman. I think that Man of Steel, obviously it has some lame parts. We talked, the three of us, before this stream.
Yeah.
The Lois Lane story falls short. But I think him as Superman, and the fact is like when an actor is like really into, like, he's a nerd. Like,
yeah.
If I got to play, I don't know, Tormund or something like that, like that would be incredible. And you're gonna get a better result out of somebody who actually likes what they're doing, as opposed to somebody who's just doing it for a buck because they fit the visual bill.
They sell they actors being in love with the properties they're working on sell the movie to the fans. You know,
like
it's
I don't know,
instant PR. You know,
I don't know if Chris Evans likes being a Captain America, but from all my viewing of him, I bet he fucking loves it because like that just fits him, that persona, like whatever. And like I don't know, like I know he goes and dresses up as Captain America and goes to like hospitals and stuff like that. Like that's a Captain America type move, bro. Like good job.
Yeah. It's same thing like Chris Hemsworth. Like talk about a guy who he wouldn't be anywhere if he didn't have Thor, right?
Right.
And he's in no rush to leave Thor behind. Like Robert Downey Jr. you could say is like, I'm not playing Iron Man again. I'm too tired with that shit.
Or Hugh Jackman with Wolverine.
Right. But it's same thing, like he bled that shit out. And realistically, Hugh Jackman only had maybe 3 movies where he was the good movies as Wolverine.
Logan was dope.
Logan's good.
I like good. Logan.
What a swan song for that character.
Yeah,
in that movie.
Yeah,
such a strong send off that it'd be like a slap in the face to bring him back.
Like, no, they can't bring him back. They can't. There's no way.
Leave it be.
But I agree. I think Man of Steel is. I've fought for it for years, saying that it is. People are very harsh on that movie when they're like, oh, like Chris, I know for a fact that you've been like, dude, there's a lot of fucking like unnecessary death and destruction, and I'm like,
that's why I like it,
dude. Like, you gotta understand, he's Superman for one day, and then all these people who are just as powerful as him show up and start fucking everything up, and you expect him to be able to be like, no, let's go fight in this fucking dusty plane because I don't want you hitting these buildings.
I've always had a love-hate relationship with Man of Steel. Like, I think it's the best DC movie that's not Wonder Woman. It does a lot of things right, and Henry Cavill might be the best Superman we ever had. Like, he's fucking awesome. Like, and I'm a huge Chris Reeve fan, but
I'm going to give it that he is the best.
Yeah,
honestly,
and he deserves another shot. He deserves a movie. We were talking about Affleck as Batman too before the stream. They just deserve to be done right. They deserve to be done right by as the characters.
Right.
And honestly, like, I think Cavill was the best cast of all the DC characters.
Besides Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. You know what though? But Gal Gadot, I didn't like her as an actress until I saw Wonder Woman.
I've never seen her in anything other than Wonder Woman.
She was in an episode of Entourage where she just played Bimbo.
Yeah, she was in Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
But she gave nothing to that performance.
Yeah.
So.
But see, I'll actually argue that because she plays dumb very well. Like Wonder Woman was just fish out of water story. So she was perfect for that role because half the movie was her going, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
So she's perfect for that. But
Yeah.
I want to see her do like some serious like real acting, which I still haven't seen her do yet. But I mean, but anyway, Cavill is fucking awesome, and I'm totally all for Man of Steel 2.
So
I hope
that was actually my next question to you guys. What do you think the title? Do you think the title of the movie would be Man of Steel 2?
No.
No.
Yeah,
because I think for me, I think that the title is going to be just Superman because there hasn't been a Superman. It's Superman the movie was the first Christopher Reeve one. So for me, for my money, I'm going to say this one's just they're going to announce that it's just going to be called Superman.
I hope,
or they could call it like the Last Son of Krypton or some shit like that.
I'm actually down for Superman.
Yeah.
Just Superman. I'm down for that. But yeah, I noticed in sequels that they're kind of dropping the 2. They don't really do that anymore. It's usually name, subtitle, or they go back to like Halloween sequels. They just go back to Halloween. They just drop it back to a simple title. So I think you're right. I think it's going to be Superman, and I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, I agree.
It should be Superman.
I think it will be too. I think it'll be called Superman, and I think it's gonna go a long way for. I think it'll go a long way for DC if they give him the chance to be the super. See, this is the thing about. So I think Henry Cavill's my favorite Superman too, but I still want to see him be. I want to see him be the
Superman.
Christopher Reeve character. You know what I mean?
But he
to the public in that universe.
Right. He has the charm. He has the charisma to pull that off. I was saying that before too. But yeah, like and this would actually be a good move for DC because it could act just name it Superman, and it could act as like kind of a soft reboot to the DCEU. You know what I mean? So you have your Wonder Woman 1984. God, I was so looking forward to that.
Me too. I've never been more. That's the worst thing about the COVID for me. I didn't get to see Wonder Woman 1984.
But bring it back down to that. So you got Wonder Woman was strong. Man of Steel was middle between strong and iffy for me. So then come back strong with Superman, and then 1984 Wonder Woman, and you get a universe again.
Yeah.
So and people are forgiving with stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said before, I mean, Hugh Jackman had loads of fucking bad Wolverine movies, but everyone loves him as Wolverine.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have it any other way. So if they do it right, they could easily get back on track. And Marvel is, I think this is my prediction, Marvel is going to go down because how do you
their big arc is over.
The Infinity Saga is over. How do you top that? You don't. And
that was 20 years of movies.
Yeah,
they're already losing big name actors. Yeah, well, they're losing the steam, and that was happening before COVID. Now they're not going to have any steam. I doubt it.
Their big characters are not their big characters, but like the characters that their universe was built on are basically like done with the roles. And you're relying. I'm glad they made the deal with Sony because I think that had they not been able to make the deal with Sony to get Spider-Man back, they literally only had Thor, and then they were like, "What are we gonna do with Thor?" And like just Thor, and Ragnarok's awesome, and the new Thor is gonna be awesome, I'm sure. But like, I agree with you. DC has so much room for the upswing now, and Marvel really is. The best they can do right now is a plateau with an occasional spike that's like, well, that was a cool movie, but like, there's not going to be a massive arc with Marvel that's going to be as compelling as the Infinity Saga was.
They're too late with Black Widow. I mean, it's just done. It's too late. And now with it being delayed, I mean, does anybody really want to see it? I forgot it was even going to be a thing.
Like, I mean, as a comic book nerd and a movie watcher, I want to see it, but it was never top billing for me this year.
The steam is gone. Right. Like it's plateaued.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm all for and very excited for a DC upswing.
Me too.
And with Henry Cavill back, because I was actually really bummed when they said he wasn't going to be Superman anymore.
Me too.
No, I mean, bring him back, and I hope. No, they're not. I hope they find a way to bring Affleck back.
So,
well, they have Robert Pattinson now.
It's
Batman,
not connected
right?
though.
yeah, that's going to be its own standalone.
It's its own thing.
universe.
Okay.
Yep. Which is honestly cool too, because I think that's going to be a great fucking series. I think that's going to be.
I really hope. I would love it if it was like the what is the with the young Batman with the older Batman training him.
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
Oh my god! If it was something like that.
Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, well, just have like Michael Keaton as like old Batman, training him.
That's what I was about to say. So, the Flash movie that's getting made. They announced that Michael Keaton is supposedly in talks to come back as Batman in that movie. But I just saw a clip from another YouTuber before I came on. I didn't click the video, but they said they had a thing that said Ben Affleck officially announced to come back in the Flash movie as Batman again too. So now it seems like if that's going to be like a multiverse jumping movie, you're gonna have Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck as Batman in the same movie with with Ezra Miller's Flash, or if it even is Ezra Miller at this point. But that
sounds
cool.
like DC's version of Spider-Verse.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what if it's a Flashpoint story.
Yeah, right, exactly. Then it's just something that
and they both have fucking stolen each other's
of course
each other's ideas for years.
Yeah.
But
I love Spider-Verse. I think Spider-Verse is awesome.
No, it is
fantastic.
And did you know about that movie that as the movie goes on, as he gets to be using his powers more and more familiar with his powers, the frame rate of the movie increases?
Yes. Because dude, my biggest gripe with the movie is when I first started watching it, because I didn't see it in theaters, I saw it at home. Yep. I'm watching it, I'm like, man, this fucking animation looks like shit.
Yeah.
And then as he becomes Spider-Man and the other characters not coming in, I didn't know if the story was moving faster or what, but all of a sudden the frame rate wasn't an issue. And then I heard that they up the frame rate as the movie progresses.
Yeah. So as he's learning, more honing his skills and whatever, I think that's really cool.
That is cool, but again, that plays into when I first watched it. I said, I don't know if I can watch this movie. It's making me sick, watching the fucking animation. But I love fucking Peter B. Parker. I think he's my favorite Spider-Man of all time. So
yeah,
I love.
He's pretty great.
I know we're talking about Superman,
what's that guy's name? That comedian. The one
John
who does
Mulaney?
his voice.
John Mulaney?
Yeah.
That's Spider-Pig. Is that who
you're talking about? I'm sorry. I was thinking he was the other one.
It's Jake something or other. I can't remember his name. He's from New Girl.
Yeah.
Is it Jake? It might not even be Jake. He might be Jake in New Girl. He was in Tag. He was in Tag. You guys ever saw that comedy?
I wanted to. I didn't see that. Yeah.
Tag's pretty fun. He's good in that movie. But that dude's awesome. So if he's got to come back. But and Oscar Isaacs, he voiced Spider-Man 2099 in that last scene at the end of the very end of the movie, where he pops into that world where it's that fucking stupid Spider-Man video where they're pointing at each other. Yeah. It's so funny that they wrote that in. But it's good. I liked Into the Spider-Verse, so I'm glad that's getting a sequel, and that's definitely the best Spider-Man movie ever made. So, but yeah, Superman. Back to DC. I hope that this is what the secret panel is, because for my money, you can't keep going with this universe and all these stories of them not wanting to do a movie with Superman. Why? It's not that the audience doesn't want Superman. It's that you didn't promote it right. You bumbled it. And just because your first movie, Man of Steel, out of the gate, it was 50% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. It didn't hit with everybody, but the fucking action was cool. It was, to this day, with the exception of Endgame and Infinity War, where they had the biggest budget in the world, Man of Steel has my favorite superhero fights in any movie. So
that's what I wanted the DBZ movie to be like. The fight scenes in that movie, just getting blown through mountains and shit.
Dude, when he's going up the building and Zod's fucking or down the building and they collide and there's a fucking it was the best. It was the best. So all you haters out there, if you have a problem with Man of Steel, you fucking message me on the side. I will yell at you all day about Man of Steel being great.
Plus, I love Zod in that movie.
Oh yeah, no, he's so good.
So
He's so
underrated as a bad guy. Anytime
I will find them.
anytime that you have a bad guy where you're like, you know what? It's kind of like Thanos, right? He was like Thanos 1.0 because he's like, you kind of understand where he's coming from, where he's not a bad guy. He's trying to save his people. And then Thanos is like, I'm a kind of a bad guy, but I'm also trying to like help everybody.
He has my favorite line in the whole movie where he's like, everything I do for my people.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have no people. So fucking good. He's so good in that.
That's actually that actor's portrayal of him is the reason why I used to play the game Injustice. It was a fighting game, DC fighting game.
Yep.
And that was the reason why he was like my main guy that I used.
Did you use the Zod skin? Did you use the Zod skin?
Of course I did.
He made Zod cool.
The Michael Shannon skin.
Yeah.
He made Zod cool. I love Terrence Stamp, but his Zod was... Ugh.
Oh. By the way, and this is kind of related to Superman, so it's good tangent. Have you guys ever seen the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2?
I love it. It's great.
So in the original Superman 2, right? They land in Texas or whatever in the small town, and like they destroy some shit, but it's not crazy, right? In this cut here, the little kid that's like, "Stop it, mister, you're hurting my dad." Like he lets the fucking guy drop like from like 30 feet up, so he's probably dead anyways. But the kid rides off to get help after Zod says nobody's allowed to leave the town. So Zod takes a fucking missile and throws it. It hits the kid and he blows up. He kills the kid. Just like that. It's fucking crazy.
Amazing.
It's crazy.
And then, like some good old fashioned overkill.
The kid's riding away on a horse. He's riding away on a horse.
Rock and pegged that kid and killed him. But no, I've got a missile.
Riding away on a horse. And
the Richard Donner cut is the only way to watch Superman 2.
Wait a minute. Wait. Was it a missile? Or is it the light of the police car that he takes and throws at it, but it just blows up because he threw it so hard?
I think it's
a missile.
I think it's I don't remember. I actually don't remember. But my favorite scene in that movie is when he's stopped being Superman. And he goes, and the guy at the diner just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah. You know what, though? So that's another thing. So this is great. This is great Superman dialogue. But another problem that I have with Superman is tons of people I've talked to are like, oh, I don't like that this Superman killed Zod, blah, blah, all this stuff. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He killed him as he killed him as a super villain. Because in Superman 2, he makes Zod, Non, and Ursa mortal, and then fucking drops them into a bottomless pit. So powerless to stop Superman at this point. He kills them anyway. So I don't want to hear about how ruthless Man of Steel is.
This is literally one problem I have with Man of Steel, but also a thing I like about Man of Steel. It's like, this is what I mean by love-hate relationship. The end is great because he kills Zod, saving a family from
death,
going to get killed. But at the same time, all the family had to do was run to the left,
run away.
That's the kind of stuff I mean when I say I love and hate Man of Steel.
Although I think they are trapped because they were in like this corner betwing the staircase and
the way it's framed in the film,
it does look like they could get away. Yeah, it does look like they could get away. I agree.
Yeah. But I agree. It's that kind of stuff.
I've got my buddy Dave Hampton. I've gotten in so many fights with him about Man of Steel. I can't even tell you. He hates DC with like his passion, and it's almost so that it makes me like hate Marvel to like counter him. But I love Marvel, so I can't even really have a dog in that fight. But like
you're trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I am.
No, I do that too in my arguments.
But so he's like the killed Zod. I'm like, what was he gonna do with Zod? He's like, he could have ripped his eyes out. like ripped his eyes out. Like that's just as gross. Like that's worse.
That's worse.
I'm like, then you
Like-
got a blind guy just punching things running around. Like,
Then you got Superman being a monster for ripping somebody's eyes out
right.
and leaving them in that misery. Like,
Yeah.
come on now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's worse.
That's
but,
totally against Superman's character, by the way.
right. But I don't know. I love Man of Steel to this day. It's one of I go back and watch a lot of comic book movies over and over again. I think Man of Steel is the one I watch the most when I go back to watch it, and that's crazy because I know that there's movies out there that are better than that, but I can't tell you the last time that I watched Infinity War or Endgame or any of those movies that I love as much as I've watched Man of Steel. I don't know why. It's always my go-to when I want to watch a superhero movie.
One more thing about the ending to Man of Steel. When he kills Zod, he has a Christopher Reeve moment. I don't know if you guys remember Superman in the movie that well, but
when Lois dies and he screams,
when Lois dies and he goes and he goes up and just spins the world back.
yeah,
Like he has that moment when he kills Zod. He's like, yeah, I can't do it. I'm not an actor, but like
yeah,
that.
it's a good scream. He
that-
feels it.
yeah.
He feels that he just killed.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to kill anybody, so
Right.
it's having to kill somebody is the emotional part of it. But
Not even just killing somebody, killing the last of his kind other
Right.
than himself. Like
the last Kryptonian, he just fucking broke his neck.
it's a good flick. It's a good flick. It is a good flick.
Yeah. See, Chris,
and
a little conversation, and we brought you back on board.
I was on board. I own the movie. I have the movie. I've seen it 3 times now.
You know what's wicked funny about Man of Steel? This is my favorite thing, and this is probably why my wife hates that movie. So for years, I kept forgetting when my wife's birthday was. I was like, it's June 12th. It's June 14th. I was mixing up these 2 days, and I'm like, when the fuck is her birthday? Because every year I'd be like, is it June 12th or June 14th? And like she'd tell me, but then one year, the year Man of Steel came out, she was like, oh, it's like my birthday this year, like blah blah blah. I'm like, I mixed it up. I'm like Superman came out on her birthday, and I'm like your birthday's on the 12th, right? And she's like, yes. And she told me it was, and it wasn't. And like, I got tickets to go see Man of Steel, and then like I went and saw Man of Steel. She was so mad at me, and I'm like, not for nothing. I'm like, but you told me she like pulled me into the lie and let me believe that her birthday was 2 days before. So she hates Man of Steel, I think, because of that exact reason.
That's the best reason to hate the movie
I know
that I've ever heard. But yeah.
All right, guys, we are gonna wrap up this part of the show. But Chris, I am afraid we're gonna have to say goodbye to you right now because you have never seen Umbrella Academy. So this next segment will really be weird for you.
Yeah, I might actually
sad violin music right here.
I might actually go watch the first episode now.
I think you should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I should.
Honestly, the first episode, the ending of the first episode is one of my favorite scenes out of all the scenes in the series. I love it.
Good.
Absolutely love
hook.
it.
So it's a good
Yep.
hook.
Yep.
You'll like it,
right.
man. All right, dude. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, solid conversation.
Thanks, bud.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Get
All
the
right.
fuck out.
Adam, here we go, bud. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The final part of this series. And I'll let everybody know who's tuning in at home or anybody who's going to watch this later. Adam and I are about to do a spoiler review of the second season of Umbrella Academy.
Spoilers.
Yep. So obviously this is a Netflix series. It dropped at the end of July, and we are almost at the end of August now. So we've waited a little bit of time to do this. But I love Umbrella Academy, as does Adam. And he kept sending me all the little like tidbits and videos every time a new one popped up. So I knew that you were ready for this. So
yeah. I was a big fan, honestly. I don't know if you have any structure set up for
we
this
can talk
here.
talk however you want. My notes on it are basically just they're kind of vague. So however you want to go.
I think it is it's similar to the first season, but so very different from the first season, and not in a bad way.
Right.
There has to be that some sort of development. I think that a lot of your characters, if not all of your characters, become more likable.
Yes.
I know a lot of people had a problem, like in season 1, with number 1, Luther.
Mhm.
And he was kind of taken as pretentious or whiny or like whatever.
Right.
And there's definitely more of the development to him. So for anybody, I mean, I don't know why you're watching this if you haven't watched it, but they're all taking place. They all, at the end of season 1, they try to escape the end of the world, and they succeed in escaping that end of the world. And they're all transported back to various points in the early 1960s. They all pop up at different times.
Pre-Kennedy assassination.
Yes, yeah. As if that was something that was important to this.
Yeah,
but I like that they have their own kind of like, this is what they were doing, this is what they were doing, this is what they were doing. But I also like that in the first season. I like that Klaus went to that little time travel to Vietnam. Like, I like those little side steps that they have.
So a lot of shows that have time travel in it, like Flash, all that stuff, they kind of wear thin on me. But this show does it in a way that I think is interesting, because this show could time travel every season, and I would be okay with it, because the characters are what keep you engaged, right? Like, the characters in this are the best written comic book characters in a television format ever, in my opinion.
I'm going to agree with you on that one.
I love Umbrella Academy. Like, I've tried to watch Doom Patrol, couldn't really get into it. I've watched all the CW shows for various seasons, and as much as I liked those shows, Umbrella Academy really fucking like gets me. And
did you ever watch Heroes? When Heroes was on?
I watched every season of Heroes.
Okay.
I probably should have.
I'm sorry for that one.
I probably should have stopped after 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, this show just it's the characters. They're interesting because they're broken, That's what's the best about them. It's X-Men if Charles Xavier was a piece of shit.
Yeah, right.
It fucked them up. So
and it's also it's almost got that feel that the original Avengers had, like Together But Alone, where they all have, they all have different powers, all have different problems, and like whatever. I mean, the only one outwardly that you can tell is different is Luther, but that's just because he got
what happened to him.
Yeah, exactly.
The ape serum or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, I don't monkey juice. Like, but it's
So let's do it like this. So obviously we already set the stage. It's set in the night. The first season ends with Vanya, who's played by Ellen Page, realizing realizing she had powers, which was like, come on, that was like from episode 1. I was like, yeah, she's got powers. That's obvious. So the set up that like she couldn't control her powers because her father never let her use them and all that stuff.
So she medicated her.
So she's the bad guy kind of at this first season, and then they end up like knocking her out or whatever after she fucking causes the end of the world, and they jump to 1960. Various points, like you said. I do like that in the first. The opening, it shows them all dropping wherever they are, but you see that they brought the apocalypse with them, which I think is a funny line that they kept bringing up. Like, we brought the apocalypse with us. Like, that's such a funny concept.
I also think that scene that they show them in the apocalypse is like one of the coolest scenes over the whole season. Just
Agreed.
Showing them Klaus raising all those dead soldiers and Allison like telling that guy, "Oh, I heard I blew your mind."
Like, and their heads just blow up.
Yeah.
Like, how does that power work?
Well, it's like if you've ever seen Jessica Jones, it's like Kilgrave, right? So Jessica Jones, villain in the first season of Jessica Jones.
No. I did see that, but like Kilgrave's power couldn't like alter reality. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could be like, I could.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He'd say, I heard I blew your mind, and somebody would have to shoot themselves in the head.
Them in the head. Yeah,
those guys' heads literally exploded because she said that they did.
Yep.
I was like, holy shit, that's a crazy power.
Talk about underutilized powers over the course of the series. I understand it's an internalized struggle for her, but like, come on, bro.
Dude, if she can do that, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally, she could go to somebody and be like, I heard that you figured out how to time travel and sent us back to the future. And all of a sudden the guy's just like, you're in the future. Like,
yeah. And I could see her being the villain in the future. Like her
Yeah.
just being so jaded and be like, you know what?
I can tell,
Whatever.
I get in a lot of discussions about about superpowers. I don't think there's a single superpower that if I ever actually had in real life that I would not use in an evil way. I am pretty sure I'd be a villain.
It all depends. So if we're in a situation where we're in right now, and you obtain a superpower, nobody's got superpowers. So like it's going to be easier to be a villain.
I
But
know.
if it's like Heroes, right, where
There's a counterbalance.
whole bunch of different people get superpowers all at the same time, like it's a different story. There's
Yeah.
yin and yang to the situation.
I was telling my coworker the other day, I'm like even powers that like necessarily wouldn't lend to being villainous, like telekinesis. Yes, it could lend to be villainous, but like I would use it in like I would just be walking in public and I'd be like, oh, that guy's about to eat that ice cream in your face.
Oh, for sure.
Like
just pants somebody
from like a mile, from like a block away, like whoo, dude, all the time.
I
all
100% agree.
But then like I would also be like if I needed money, I'd be like, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go stand on that block. I'm gonna rip that ATM off of the wall, and no cameras are gonna see me because I'm so far away, and people are gonna be curious what happened, and I'm just gonna take a shitload of cash and run away.
Yep.
Like, there's no way I wouldn't be a villain. There's no way.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you had like Meg's superpower in that one episode of Family Guy. You just grow your fingernails.
Ow,
like, is that bleeding?
Is that bleeding? No, but ouch though. Yeah, no, that's incredible. But let's go through the characters this season and see like where they end up. So obviously Allison, her arc is really good. Like
I loved her arc.
Her arc was incredible.
Civil rights movement and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most striking things for me about the season, because I didn't care for Allison in season 1.
Me either.
She was literally just talking about her daughter the whole time and like whatever. And like I get it. Like
you know what's funny is they talk about her daughter like towards the end of the second season, and when they first
mentioned her name twice.
Yeah, and I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, who's she even talking about? Because this arc was so much better for her that I didn't even remember that she was useless in the first season. You know?
Yep. I completely agree.
So she was way better. I liked her husband in 1960s. I liked his character. All of these characters, I was like, man, I hope these characters time jump with them. Obviously, spoiler for the end of the show. They obviously go back to their normal timeline. And I was like,
do they?
Yeah, or do they? But
they don't.
I know. I wanted them to come. I wanted them to come with them. I was like, these are great additions, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about Hazel. I was very upset that Hazel has that like one scene, because I really liked Hazel throughout season 1. Yeah. I feel like I have like Hazel energy to me. So this
is exactly why the show is great. Talk about a random character who had no right to have an impact on like my ability to like him. He's just the bad guy, you know? He's just the guy in the first season who's out to get 5. He's wearing that stupid fucking hat thing, which they've never explained why they wear those. The bear face, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you so the creators came out and said they hid like 48 Easter eggs throughout this whole second season, references to other things.
Really?
And in that the scene in the last episode in the field, somebody has on the cha-cha mask.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool then.
Yeah.
But Hazel's a character that at the end of that season, he's a great fucking character. Yeah. He's awesome. He's like
an old lady who has donuts and running away with her.
Right. So that's So Allison's storylines like that. 5 storylines still pretty cool. He's always the guy who knows something terrible is coming and has to save the day, or try to get the team around it. But I think he had some great comedic moments in this second season.
For sure.
Like when he meets himself, that was some of my favorite.
The psychosis, the 7 stages of psychosis,
time travel psychosis, or whatever it is.
Or it was just like meeting up with yourself. Right. That was what it was.
I love that both of them are trying and poor Luther, he's like in the middle between it. He's just hearing the flatulence. He's like, wait, you have time psychosis.
Yeah. I really like they have a fight scene in that, and the portal opens up, and it's a portal back to when 5
time traveled originally,
and the fire extinguisher comes through.
Yeah.
And that's something that Klaus when that portal opened up, he threw a fire extinguisher at him, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like in the first season, he's like, "I don't know. I had to do something."
Yeah,
like,
it just ties it back in. Yeah, it was great. It was incredible. And then so five story arcs, pretty cool. I thought it was badass when he assassinated the fucking board.
The whole board member.
Oh yeah. The fish man. The fish man.
And his fight scenes in general are awesome because he has that teleportation ability.
You know what's great though, and we'll talk about these guys, but when the Swedes are like kicking the shit out of him and he's just a little kid, I was like, oh, this is hard to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's good. Probably my favorite arc this season. I love Klaus. We'll get into him. He's my favorite character, but
I'll agree with you on that one too.
But Diego, I thought Diego was so good in this second season. I didn't love him so much in the first season. I liked the stuff with his robot mom and all that stuff, but like I didn't love Diego as a character. But this season, I thought Diego was incredible.
I could wholeheartely agree.
I think the like him trying to stop the JFK assassination, I like that. I knew it wasn't going to end well for him right in the beginning.
Yeah.
But but
his heart was in the right place.
His character was like he was much more funny than he was in the first season. He was actually he had my favorite line in the entire season. I laughed out loud and had to rewind. Is when 5 is like, "What the fuck do you know about the company or whatever? What's the name of the time travel people?"
Oh, the coalition. No,
no.
It doesn't matter.
Let's call it the company. He's like, "What the fuck do you like? What are you talking about the company all of a sudden for?" He's like, "Because I'm a member." And he's like, "What do you mean you're a member?" He's like, "I took orientation. I aced it."
I went into the what was the name of the computer? Like the mainframe or whatever.
Oh god, what was it called though? It was like the key
the switchboard. No, it's a switchboard.
Yeah.
I went to the switchboard and made that my bitch.
The time switchboard, I made it my bitch. And he's like, you shouldn't have been in there. It's like it's just the best. He was so funny in that scene.
He had the line in the Nut House where he compared something to Star Wars. He's like, I know you guys don't understand that, but that was an excellent reference.
Reference. He's like, it's not a Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader scenario here. And they're like, everyone's looking at him. He's like, I know you don't understand that, but that is an excellent reference.
Yeah. 10 years before, or more than 10 years before the original Star Wars.
Right. No, he was great. And I love that we got a little more explanation of his abilities too.
Yep.
Because in the first season, it's just like, I can throw knives well. And I'm like, that, like, just say he's got telekinesis or whatever it is that he can do.
Well,
and
it's a manipulation of projectiles. So I think they already have to have force behind them.
Yeah. He can manipulate the trajectory of objects.
Yeah.
Which I again, that's just telekinesis, but it's
right.
But it's I liked it. I like because in that first episode, you see him do the spin thing where the bullets kind of curve around him, and I was like, "Holy shit, is he Neo? Like, what is that?"
Right.
And then at the end, obviously, you see him stop all those bullets, and I was like, "He is Neo."
Yeah, that was the Neo with that one hand.
Yeah, he's stopping.
Such an iconic moment.
Yeah, but I love that. I love that Diego, like his character is the powers were a little more, because if he was just a guy who could throw knives well, I'm like, that's a stupid power when everybody else's power is a little bit more scientific.
That's bullseye.
Yeah,
that's it, exactly
right. And but and not that it's a stupid. I mean, that's why I kind of assumed he was the better fighter in the team, because like he's like, my power kind of sucks.
Oh, he's Batman, but then you aim lower.
Yeah, it's a good picture Batman, but aim lower. Yeah, he was good. So I thought Diego, he had the surprise arc for me that I liked the most, which I didn't expect. And then obviously we talk about Vanya. Vanya's arc was interesting. I liked that she had the memory loss for a little bit. It got a little annoying, but they kind of wrap it up kind of quick with her. Halfway through, she gets her not memories back, but halfway through, she gets her family back in a way. So I like that they didn't spend the whole season being like leaving her in the dark. But her arc was okay. I mean, the love story was nice, and that father was like a piece of shit. So I was glad whatever happened to him. I don't like that she could pass her abilities off to people. That was a little fucking weird.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but
that definitely is weird.
yeah, but yeah,
Is that exclusive to her? Is that
Yeah.
have anyone else tried to give somebody mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to a dead body?
I don't know. But she did have one of my favorite scenes though, which honest to God, it was so good. And obviously Ben, who's the dead brother, I loved him. I love his.
Yeah,
I think
awesome.
him and Klaus are just great. They're great 1-2 punch. And but his scene with Vanya when he like basically saves her and saves the day, I fucking loved that scene.
Yep.
And he's starting to like flake away, and I was like,
I
was like, no, not Ben, the ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was sad to see him deteriorate, but ultimately save Vanya, and now she can control her powers and everything. I love that. So I'm glad they nipped that, like she's a fucking nuke ready to go off at any moment, kind of in the bud.
Just like too Dark Phoenix, like do your own thing, like and they did. They successfully did it. Because going any much more into there, and then it becomes Dark Phoenix.
Right.
You know.
So yeah, it was really cool. I'm glad Ben got some to shine. As I loved the episode when Ben was Klaus for like that time.
Yep.
I loved it. He's like eating the fucking apple, but he's like, like the orange or whatever. Like he didn't even like it.
Yeah.
He didn't even like it, which is an interesting take because immediately I'm like, oh, he's gonna love that, and then he was like,
yeah,
it was sour or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Klaus. Actually, let's talk about Luther before we get to Klaus. Luther probably had the worst story arc in this season.
Yeah, he was a bare knuckle boxer. He
was the boob
looking for Allison.
Right, he was the boob, and that's fine. That's fine because it made him likable as a person in the in the family, and he was funnier and more lighthearted. But his actual story was the worst. Like they didn't have much.
No, he was tagging along on everyone else's stories.
Yeah, like he called the fucking boss to like say goodbye to his boss or whatever in that one episode.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he called Olga for Olga.
Who?
They call the old lady Olga for Olga. I'm in Diego, and they're like, because they see the Swedes had killed
that guy.
They killed him, and they left a message, and they're like, oh, that must be somebody's name. And they look him up in there, threatening an old lady over the phone. And Five's like, you idiots, that's Swedish for an eye for an eye. Like,
I love that. Yeah, that was great. He was, like I said, comedy wise, this season was gold. So, and I hope that Luther finally has a good season in the third season. But that was just his arc was the weakest. But Klaus, I mean, can you think of a more perfect role than running a cult in the 60s when you could literally talk to the dead and you're just like you're him, you're Klaus. Like
no stuff in the future, and he's just quoting music. Like,
don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yeah.
I love Klaus. He's so good.
No, he's great. I like that they have, and they've kind of pretty much sealed up his David storyline. He tried, he failed. But it was nice that like that was there or whatever, because that was such an important thing to him. Season 1. I was happy with, and he has one of my favorite scenarios too, where him and Allison are sitting there, and they're like, he's like, this reminds me of the story of the frog and the scorpion. And the frog or the scorpion's like, I want to get across this river. And the frog's like, what's in it for me? And he's like, how about $10? And he's like, I don't know. How about 5? And he's like, let's call it $7.50. And then he gives him a right across, and he stings him. And he's like, well, why'd you do that? Well, the moral of the story is that frogs are bitches, and we don't negotiate with terrorists.
That's right. It's incredible. It makes, and then what does Allison say? She goes, "What the hell does that? What the hell does that have to do with anything?"
Yeah, he's like, let's get drunk,
man. I don't know, man. Let's just get drunk. He's so good. He's so funny.
That scene where he goes, he starts drinking again when he's in the liquor store, and it's it goes down to the pan down camera. I think it's playing like Lust for Life or something like that.
Yeah.
Going through there, like that was great. That is something that about this whole series. As much as I love the comedy, as much as I love the characters, what really does it for me is the music.
Oh,
the
great
music
choices.
is just like unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Dude, Backstreet Boys during that fight scene with
Oh my
the
God.
Swedes.
Oh my God. Or that Swedish version of Adele.
Yes,
Right
that
in
was
the
wicked good.
feels. Yeah.
That's when but yeah, the Swede. All right, let's talk about the Swedes really quick. So
Yeah.
there were obviously just the faceless villains that were in this season, you know, no emotion, whatever. They were just there to hunt them down. They're pretty fucking badass though. I was
Yeah.
they were forced to be reckoned with. I really liked them, and I liked they like two of them were like stupid, and only one of them really was like kind of running the ship.
Yeah.
And then
Three Stooges.
yeah, but that scene where they were in the hallway fighting, and it's like two of them are attacking fucking Diego, and one of them's attacking Five, and Five manages to get one away or whatever, and then it's just one-on-one. I love that scene with Diego. He's like, all right, mofo. It's like he's like it's just one-on-one now. Let's see what you fucking got. And that scene, like Diego like beats the shit out of him. Like I love that. I love that.
No, and they did have some. I mean,
the foot.
So yeah, so Diego kills one of them, blows him to smithereens with traps.
Well, that wasn't Diego.
It was. They think it's Diego.
Yeah, they think it's Diego.
The handler.
Yeah.
Right. Kills him, and then they have a beautiful like Viking type funeral for him. It's just his foot left, and they light up a little arrow.
Incredible.
Yeah. While Swedish Adele plays.
Yeah, that was great. And then the
other one, Allison uses her power the most brutal way we've ever seen her use her power.
I heard you killed your brother.
I heard a rumor you killed your brother, and he does it like the Mountain does to Oberyn Tyrell, and just pops his head like a grape.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah. And then and you can see it all over his face too, that like he
consciously
doing it.
Yeah, he consciously wants to stop. Right.
Yeah.
And then he screams and runs out of there.
Yep.
The handler was pretty good this season. She's always a good actor. I can't imagine she'll be back now. I mean, she's already kind of escaped death one time. So but I did like her story arc. I honestly I can't believe I didn't see it coming with Lila. Is it Lila?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see it coming that she was one of them.
Yeah.
She's like a mirror. That's her power.
Yeah, one of the 49 or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. Maybe I didn't see that. I tell you what I didn't see coming is the handler mowing them all down. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome. Although as soon as the bullets started flying like that, I was like, it's like maybe you're trying too hard for what your power can let you do. And I was like, oh, Five's gonna go back in time for like 30 seconds and stop this.
Yeah, that was sweet. And then the way that like they were just like with the Swedes, like it's over, and he's like, yeah, you're right. And then just like
well, he's there. He's got one gun. He's got like 7 superpowered people around him. He's like,
it's some guy who has just proven that he can go back in time if it's a problem. So
right. So so they were good. I liked Lila. I'm glad she made it out because I think she'll.
Yeah, so a lot of the people I've talked to didn't like our character, and I actually like her. I think she's a nice little like, I don't know. Yeah, for sure.
Like sometimes foe, sometimes friend. So she'll be back randomly. I liked her too, and I think you'll see next season. I imagine that they'll play it like she'll be a villain-ish kind of thing in the beginning, but by the end,
in and out.
Yeah, by the end, I imagine she'll just be like, "All right, you guys are my family now," or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But then she'll like break Five's nose just for fun.
Yeah. She'll be like, "These
still kill my parents."
She'll probably test the waters for both sides of it, and then be like, "No, those guys are dicks. Like, I'm gonna hang out with you guys. You guys are dicks, but I like you." Like that type of thing.
Right. So I think for sure, this season, I loved it. What season did you like better, 1 or 2?
Oh, 2.
I like 2 better too.
Yeah, one has some very memorable moments. I still love 1, but 2 is kind of heading, especially with the ending cliffhanger of 2. And then like the little things we got in the second to last episode with Reginald and all his board members and everything like that.
Reggie's an alien.
Yeah. So that being said, though, in the graphic novels, that's on like the first page of like the first graphic novel.
Oh, really?
It's like, oh yeah, it's like Reginald Hargreaves, like philanthropist, like inventor of this, that, and the other thing, space alien, like whatever.
You know what's funny is I read the first graphic novel, but I feel like this was before the first season of Umbrella Academy came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, it got announced. I saw the trailer. I'm like, what the fuck's Umbrella Academy? That's a comic I never read. So
Yeah.
I read the first graphic, but I kind of like went through him quick to get to like the characters,
right,
and to get to like the Vanya story that is in the first graphic. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, that's I guess I totally forgot that was there, but it makes
but
sense.
it's a brief thing. It's like they're just like boop, there it is, and then like, and that makes me believe that like these 49 were direct creations by him.
Oh, for sure, or his people or something,
Yeah, right.
But so that's the other thing about the season. So they talk in the first episode about the 49 children born on that day, yet they never say that any of them had powers, right? It was just these 7 that Hargraves collected that they believe are the only ones that have powers. Yeah. But that obviously is not the case. So what the fuck? Like I was obviously this takes us to the cliffhanger where the Umbrella Academy all jump back to the future. No apocalypse to be seen, but everything's different. There's no Umbrella Academy. It's the Swan Academy or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh,
Sparrow Academy. Yeah. And he's like, Reginald Hargrave is there alive. And he's like, you're not my children. And then like, you just see the shadows of these 6 other people. And you're like, oh fuck, who are they? And then Ben's alive, which
with his anime haircut.
Yeah. Ben's alive. So that's how you get Ben back, which is awesome because I love that character. I didn't want him to be gone. And
so the thing that I think is kind of cool about that is that they all go and have that meeting with Hargraves at that point, and it's just 6 of them, right? Ben's still with them, but he's dead. Nobody talks about him.
Right.
So Hargraves takes all these notes on these people, so he's going to know not to take these people.
Right.
But nobody brought up Ben.
Right.
So it would make sense that was one of the ones that carried over.
And since it's a new timeline, that Ben never would have been killed. So
and then he was in a different situation with different people, like they weren't in there.
Ben's number 1 in the Sparrow Academy. So that's fucking crazy. And everything I know about the Sparrow Academy from the research that I did is that they're not necessarily bad guys, really. At least comic wise, they're not. They're kind of just like, hey, you have powers, we have powers, that's cool. But like they're strictly like ruled by Hargraves,
Yeah, right.
So I don't necessarily think they'll be like foils for the Umbrella Academy as much as they'll be like competition to like help stop like other bad guys, And then so I don't know. I have no idea where the story's going other than I hope that obviously Ben leaves the Sparrow Academy and goes with the Umbrella Academy.
Right. And that would be a nice like reuniting thing with him and Klaus, like reuniting, but at the same time, like getting to know one another and like whatever.
Right.
I know that from what the research that I've done about the Sparrow Academy, which is that all the other people have entirely different powers.
Oh yeah.
And one of them is apparently a gelatinous cube.
Like he could turn into a gelatinous cube?
No.
He's a jelly man?
He's constantly a gelatinous cube.
Like, constantly?
It's just like floating there.
What?
Yep.
He's like the Kool-Aid man, but without the fucking jar.
He's like those things in Zelda that would like eat your shield.
Oh yes, the things that like if you cut them, they like fucking turn into 3 little ones. And you're like, shit, I gotta get all of them.
Yep.
Oh man.
But I know there's, I know that, but then okay. So the thing about the Sparrow Academy is, so we see one of the final scenes in the episode is Sissy driving away with Harlan in the back seat, and he's got that little sparrow, whatever bird it is,
right?
And he's spinning it around.
Right.
So I feel like that has it's got to have something to do with him. They wouldn't have just thrown that in there for shits and gigs.
You're right. I bet you adult Harlan is obviously not one of the Sparrow Academy kids, but I bet you he's there. I bet you he's there in the fucking premises.
Yeah, right.
That's fucking crazy. Or he could be a villain in season fucking 3.
Yeah, but why would they call it the Sparrow Academy if
Well,
He was the bad guy.
maybe he was like the initial child
That's
that Hargraves
true too.
tried
Yeah,
to
he
like.
got him, and then he tried to start it up, and he went like awry. That would be
Right.
cool.
Yeah, I bet you that is the story. I bet you that's
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
the
then
story.
Vanya's gonna have to kill this autistic boy. Like,
Or she probably doesn't have to kill. He'd be a man. He'd be like 40 years old.
okay,
But like,
yeah, whatever, an autistic man. Like,
no, she won't. she's definitely not going to kill him. That's a redemption story, if anything. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe she has to kill him. You're right. But no, that's fucking. That's hilarious. Oh my god, what a story!
yeah.
I think we just cracked it though. I'm almost positive that's going to be.
Yeah. There's no way that like that was just like a random thing that they just decided to throw in there. Like, oh, by the way,
this has Sparrow.
This has nothing to do with anything.
Right. No, you're right. I didn't even. But it's funny because until we just talked it out, I didn't even connect Sparrow Academy with that. So that's interesting.
I don't know what kind of bird it is, but a sparrow's a bird. Like,
yeah. No, I think
fucking bird the whole fucking season.
I believe you have cracked
that was
it, my
dope,
friend.
though. When he dies and she just clears all the water out of that
lake.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's cool, but I also have a problem with it. So that splash that he made, it sounded like he fell off the fucking did you ever see It?
Yeah.
And It, when the kids jump off the fucking quarry thing into the lagoon, like he made that kind of a splash. Like,
I don't know, man. He might have ups. He might be able to jump real high.
Why would he jump? That was a fall splash, and
he
was in the middle of that pond, like drowned. Like if he had just ran into the pond and fallen, he would have been in the shallowest water ever. He would have been able to push himself back up.
He would have been sitting there. Well, the story would have been less believable.
I think that's more believable than him being in the middle of that pond, because he would have had. How would he have gotten out there? It was like he was like 30 feet into that water.
Yeah, that's very true.
Unless he was like, no, because he didn't get his powers until after that.
It was after that.
Right. I was saying maybe he did like a Vanya fucking leap thing.
Like,
and then
like the force jump.
Or he already had powers and he telekinetically lifted himself into the. No, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Hargraves uses this kid's DNA to craft whatever makes the other 49 plausible.
That's also true.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, overall, I love this season, and I know you did too. So the worst thing about it is that I now have to wait at least a year for season 3, if not longer.
I agree 100%.
All right. Well, I think. Oh, wait a minute. We got a comment over here. What is it saying? Dan Bagarella, he's queuing in on this. He said it's the commission.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan Bagarella.
Yeah, wow. You know what? That's nice too, because I didn't know that he was a viewer. So that feels good. Down deep in the, we have the same people who tend to pop up over here, right? And to see that just warms my heart.
Yeah, no, I that's awesome. I'm glad he's watching. I'm glad anybody tunes into these.
But it's something more special when I was like, I know that guy.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up here anyways. Adam, thank you so much for doing this review with me, and obviously for being on the whole episode. Thanks to Chris for being on the whole episode up until Umbrella Academy. Thanks for Duggan for being in there in the middle, and then I don't know what the hell happened to you. Hopefully you're okay. Hopefully you didn't have Vanya blowing up your apartment building or something like that. But anyways, that's going to do it for us here on Geek Babble. We'll let you guys know we have the next one coming out. If you get the chance to watch this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps us be able to come back with more content and let us know that you want to see this stuff. If there are any topics you guys want us to talk about, feel free to leave us a message on Facebook or on YouTube, and we will definitely add them to the next show. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys later.